Paul, you went from winning 6 games in a row to now having lost 3 games in a row. What's changed over the last week?
That's a really good question. I mean, it's we've talked about this long and hard, and I think if you get away from your details, and we got away from the details that made us win over them 6 games, and all 6 games weren't easy. There were some tough battles there, and we went into Aalborg, and it took us 20 minutes to get to the pace of the game. They're kind of playing at that CHL level right now, and I thought we came back with a really strong second and third period, and maybe on another day. I mean, our first period wasn't great, but you have to sometimes applaud your opposition and understand what they're doing. And but we found our way back into the game in the second and third period, but we didn't get the result we wanted. But Sonny-Juska was unacceptable, and the players know that. I know that. So going into last night's game, I mean, we haven't become a bad team in 7 days. We've just become a team that's got away from our identity. We've got a few injuries, but all teams have got injuries. You can't just point the finger at that. But if you get away from what you're strong at, and then you're clutching, and I think we're making too many individual errors right now, and we're not being the collective that we were for the first 6 games. And and it's my job to get the train back on the track, and we will. The boys they've had a tough day today, physically, verbally, and information, because it's all okay as a coach coming in and screaming and shouting and swearing, and that lasts for so long. And then you have to start understanding why you're losing. And I think that's the biggest thing. Let's understand why we're not doing what we need to do to get the results that we got previously. And that process started heavily today.
How do you get the train back on the tracks and get back to winning then?
Well, again, we go back to the details of what's required from every individual, and then from the collective, and then from the line. We've got some players that are carrying a couple of injuries, guys that are playing right now. So they have to adapt their game to that, and until they get healthy again. But I think it's just about being honest and putting our hands up and saying we haven't been good enough. And we haven't been good enough. And I'm taking nothing away from our opposition. I mean, Sonny-Juska played a great game down here. I thought the game last night was scrappy. And even though it was scrappy, we got ourselves into a position we're 2 minutes away from achieving at least a point. And we gave it away. And individual mistakes are costing us in the last couple of games. But we know that. We have an honest group. And I'm not the guy that's going to throw my team under the bus. It's a hard-working, dedicated team that just needs to get back on the bus and get back on the track.
You had quite a few minutes in the penalty box yesterday as well. How much does that affect your game?
Wow, I mean, we gave up a 5-on-3. I mean, we took the puck back in initially, which, is not what we want to do. We took a minor penalty, and then we took a face-off violation to put us on a 5-on-3, which, I have my thoughts on that, but I don't think that should have been a call, but it was, and we have to respect that. But I mean, we had 2 line changes yesterday that you wouldn't expect from an under-14 team, and we know that, and we've looked at that and we talked about that, and now we have to put the only way that we can put things right is, next Monday in Frederikshavn, and then the next game after that. So it's a process of getting us back to where, and no one's hiding here. It's I think in hindsight, if we'd won 2, lost 1, won 2, lost 1, won 2, lost 1, we'd kind of be more on an even keel. I think winning 6 in a row, you start to take shortcuts, and the best teams don't do that, and the best teams compete at a very, very high level, but a consistent level. And we can't go from there to there. We've got to find our consistency, and we will do.